Have you ever played a game that took time to get used to? Whether it be the controls, graphics, or mechanics, there's always at least one game that everyone has played that needed extra time to fully enjoy. This can apply to other mediums as well, like movies and plays, but video games tend to be the one that I hear the most passion about. That passion also includes hate. And you know who hates games the most? The ones that keep buying them. Yes, Pokemon, the franchise that can never catch a break. That's not to say that they don't deserve the criticism, but more so that they just keep fucking up the small things. New open world Pokemon! This runs worse than Minecraft on my old school computer. Here's some lively new characters! Game Freak would rather die than have voice acting. Here's a remake of a beloved game! The quality of this game makes me fucking sick! It has become commonplace to question every decision the Pokemon Company makes, and people are starting to lose a lot of faith in the company as a whole. That doesn't stop them from buying it though. Twice. This surge in criticism occurred during the Generation 8 entries of Sword and Shield. Everyone knows about the whole free national dex shit, so I'm not gonna go into it now. Like I said, I'll get to you later. But despite popular belief, this increased doubt in the Pokemon Company didn't suddenly show up with Sword and Shield. In fact, we can trace this animosity all the way back to 2010 with the release of what is now considered one of, if not the best Pokemon game ever made, Black and White. Wait, that's a bit confusing. How are people mad about this game? There's so much personality, detail, and care poured into it. How could people view this game in such a negative way? Well, the answer is simply the same as how people feel about Pokemon now. We're so tired. Innovation has never been Pokemon's strong suit outside of its, literal conception. People were getting tired of these 2D sprites. These games were still on old hardware, and there wasn't a clear step of improvement compared to Diamond and Pearl with it being released on the same system. I've always considered Black and White to be the Wind Waker of Pokemon. People have mixed feelings at best about it when it comes out, then later appreciate it as a masterpiece. Hi, editing stutter here. I was just about to go into X and Y, but whenever I went to download the footage of the trailer for it, this entire trailer is it's burned into my brain. I used to watch this trailer every day whenever it got announced. Every day I would watch it because I was such a huge Pokemon fan. I was at prime, or a little past my prime age for it. But I just really remember this moment, and seeing that it was going to be a worldwide release just fucking broke my brain. And I was 14 when it came out. So, that was pretty much it. Okay, on with the video. I definitely think that shift in opinions started when X and Y came out in 2013, since we finally had a mainline Pokemon game jump to 3D. Another similar case of this occurred with Mario 3D World after we finally got a real new 3D Mario game in the form of Odyssey. Maybe I should make a video about this though. I don't know. Anyway, everyone loves this game now, and I think it comes from finally appreciating what Black and White was. Rather than being a full leap into something new, it refined 2D Pokemon to near perfection. Why do I say near perfect? We'll get there when we get there. This is a game I've put so many hours into and have a lot of thoughts on, but no one at Home Goods will listen to me, so I guess this is second best. To prevent misremembering anything about this game, I started a new playthrough just to make sure everything I say and feel is still accurate in the present day. So, with that said, let's talk about it. I have very mixed feelings about this game. It's one that I can fully appreciate now for its ideas and remember fondly, but there are small nitpicks I have with it that prevent me from going back to it as easily as I do Pokemon Emerald or Platinum, for example. This video is not going to be a comprehensive review piece so much as it is just general opinions I hold about it. Nothing I say is to discredit someone else's love for a game, since everyone has a Pokemon sweet spot with what came out as they grew up and different preferences. I mean, hell, I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. Do you really think I can sit up on my high horse talking about quality on an objective level? I love the little details in these games, like how the drum track only plays while you're walking. Every Pokemon you encounter on your first playthrough are new to Gen 5 to present itself almost as a reboot for the series. Every sprite adds character with new animations. There's just so much to love about this game. The characters are all great too. The gym leaders have so much personality, and they continue the tradition of making your mom unreasonably hot. Okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, so let's just take it all in piece by piece. The start of the game is so cute. The introduction of this pseudo 3D feel and your first battle with your rivals, yes, rivals with an S, being in your bedroom, which gets all messy when you finish the fight, is just so cool. Yeah, we have 2 rivals this time. We have Bianca, who is a sweet little soul who just wants to live their dream as a trainer. Unless you're playing a Nuzlocke, in which case she deserves to burn in hell and should have listened to her dad. Then we have Sharon, who is supposed to be your serious first-rate Olympic athlete of a trainer, but only ends up being the boring pushover that you constantly ruin the dreams of. I guess you could kinda consider N to also be a rival, but he's more of an anti-hero that shows up every once in a while, still better than Sharon. The true rival in this game is really Bianca. She has the screen time of 1, has a strength progression of 1, and an actual story. Unlike someone! Okay, but for real this time. This game has so much going for it. All of the locations are just simply so beautiful. Being the first and only mainline Pokemon with an American setting, the way they replicated New York was phenomenal, the fake 3D that they use for Sky Arrow Bridge, and the diverse culture in each area is just so fucking charming! The gym leaders that accompany each town are so distinct and lovable. They mesh with their respective towns so perfectly in terms of theme. Every gym leader's design and personality has matched the town they reside in since the beginning, but Black and White somehow add enough nuance to their look to really feel like they have more depth than, oh, it's a grassy area, so the gym leader is grass type. Just look at Elisa, for example. Her gym is in the middle of the big Nimbasa city. Rather than just being electric type because of her big city background, they made her a model, and her gym is full of mini bullet trains and then a fashion runway in the sequel. Or even look at Skyla's gym being inside an airplane hangar with all the trainers inside being male pilots because she was designed to be a leader of men. And that really shows in her story, in her little arc. It's not there too much, but there's enough in there that you kind of understand that feeling. You understand that narrative. Lenora is also a great example. She's a confident gym leader that shows care towards everyone, but isn't afraid to not hold back when things are dire. This may sound like a very simple character construction, but it's definitely more than what most other gym leaders have. This is what I like to call X, Y, and Z narratives. X is the main significance this character has to the world or story, such as being a fire-type gym leader being near a volcano. This is shallow significance, but it makes sense for the world they reside in and the design pattern of the franchise. Y is the supporting narrative of that character that builds from the X narrative. You have simple guidelines as to who they are, but that's only a general design choice. The Y narrative adds depth to the character in terms of their personality on a deeper level. What are their usual moods? What occupation do they have? How does that relate to their X narrative to make it meaningful? That's what the Y narrative is at the end of the day. Z narratives dig much deeper into the character's motivations, their overarching purpose, and emotional ties to that which is around them. Only main characters usually have this treatment, but there are a few exceptions. I feel as if most gym leaders in Black and White, as well as its sequel, have this XY narrative rather than the simple X narrative that most gym leaders give us in previous games. Look at me dead in the eye and tell me you remember Juan. Do it. I think this is one of the biggest reasons why everyone loves these characters so much. Most of them felt like real characters rather than a simple caricature that we see once and then never go back to. I know that's the basic nature of what a gym leader is designed to be, but that little bit of depth really goes a long way. Seeing all the gym leaders come back to help you at the end of the game was just so cool, and I'm shocked that Pokemon had never really done this before or ever again with future generations. The closest thing I can think of would maybe be Sun and Moon, but come on, that hardly counts. Man, I love grapes. Grapefruit must taste the same. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the story! I haven't even gone over how good the story is. The story is creative and fun. There are serious tones thrown in for severity's sake, but it never distracts from the lighthearted joy that Pokemon has. The environments are so well done and beautiful. They add soul to the world. Seeing Pokemon fly around when you first leave your door was so cute. Chargestone Cave and Dragon Spiral Tower are so cool to explore, and take the basic ruins and cave theme and add detail to make everything interesting. That, combined with the new Pokemon that appear across the region fitting extremely well to the setting and most of the designs just being fantastic, makes everything so great. Except for this guy. I hope him and his disease-ridden brother violently disappear. With everything going for it, it's no wonder it's so widely loved now. Was that a good take?
Yeah, that was great, man. They loved it.
Okay, perfect. Are they gone now?
Oh, yeah, they just took a lunch.
All right, sweet. Time to bitch! Why is there nothing at the top of Celestial Tower? There's nothing to it. Not a single piece of story revolves around it. There's no special spawn, no special item, nothing. You're forced to explore this boring-ass tower, and the best thing you can find is, what, one revive? Also, some of the gym leaders just suck. Does anyone like these triplets? I like that they tried to make their gym trial tie into their connection with the school next door, but why is it also a cafe? Either go full academic or commit to the cafe theme. Either shit or get off the pot, man. Also, these designs make me want to puke and commit a felony. I'm not gonna bitch about Sharon anymore since it's too predictable, and I am against public embarrassment, but my God, what can you do? He had so much potential, and all you could achieve is become the weakest gym leader 3 years later? I know he was supposed to have this deep journey about understanding what it means to be a champion with Alder, but you could also say syphilis actually had positive effects, and I'd still tell you you're insane. And oh my God, what the fuck is this map? Why is it literally just a circle with some genitalia at the bottom? One of the biggest things that make Pokemon games feel like an adventure is the actual exploration of different routes. I mean, yeah, most routes traditionally just lead to your next destination, but the other small routes and detours make it really feel like the world is connected, and the different HMs allow you to traverse it with a new lens. Although I may be biased in this, the way Sinnoh is formatted allows you to explore these long routes in new and different ways when you get new HMs, and genuinely makes the world feel more interesting. There are also a lot of smaller parts and old routes that you could explore later in the game, and it really felt like I had discovered something. Black and White feels like I'm on a tour and the guide keeps congratulating me. I am a fan of praise. Yes, Black and White 2 fixed a couple things with this, and the base version always has a few rough edges and weird decisions. I may love Gen 4, but man, some of the decisions made with it are piss poor. The sequels decided to focus on story this time instead of other world changes though, and they kind of make some aspects worse in a way. You're back to one rival now, who is now named Hugh. I had to look up his name for this video and had a hearty chuckle. And his whole story is... Wait. To save his sister's purloin? Wow, that's that's pretty lame. At least Sharon became the first gym leader, so he's not completely useless. There were a couple areas that were added, like the Castelia sewers, that were inaccessible in the original games, and the brand new Humalao City. The new city has great theming and a really cool gym leader, but the coolest part of this area is honestly the marine tube you take to get there, but it would be really hard to top it. I mean, have you seen this thing? Oh, so beautiful. After doing some research of the sequel for this video, there were actually a lot more changes to the world that I had completely forgotten about. The routes are better, the world feels much more connected and more natural than a fucking circle. And the new story isn't just a rehash of what was done before. No, it's a completely new story. New characters, new plot lines, new scenarios that add so much to the core experience, all of which make Black and White 2 the definitive version of Unova. Also, when I looked up if there were any changes to Celestial Tower, there's nothing more than like a few different items here and there and like some different trainers scattered around, except for this fucking behemoth of a maid. It has an insane steel team. Metagross with Clear Body, Zen Headbutt, Meteor Mash, Earthquake, and Bullet Punch? God damn, Tammy, take Sharon's spot or something. Like every other Pokemon game, the third version, or sequels in this case, are the best way to play these games. But since the Pokemon Company opted for sequels this time around, there's a reason to play both games. I think that approach has a much better reaction from those that played the originals than those that want to wait for a third version that's considered the definitive version of the same game. But my god, if you really care about that, then you are already a Pokemon fan. Like, come on. These games are truly lovely entries, and while I have a lot of complaints about them, quite a bit of them were fixed later on, and I've definitely warmed up to them over the years. I didn't even mention Black City and White Forest, which was an area that changed depending on what version you bought and played an important part with the Sea Gear. Oh yeah, the Sea Gear! I used this a ton when I was a kid. Trading Pokemon on the fly, traveling to other person's city or forest was such a wild experience at the time. This is a feature that isn't exactly useful anymore though, since not many people realistically still have their cartridge to interact with someone else who also somehow still has their cartridge around. I'm not many people. It's very easy to see why so many people love this game, and look back on it fondly. Even though my initial issues prevent me from going back to it a lot, man, I still appreciate the hell out of these games. When I replayed Pokemon Black for the first time, I noticed my save file had over 100 hours into the game. I don't know what I did to collect that many hours into this thing, but I had a good time apparently. And since Black and White 3 hasn't exactly been confirmed to be out of the question yet, if they do eventually happen, I only ask for one thing. I need to know Tammy's backstory, Game Freak, please! Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. This video took a lot longer than I thought it would. If you guys want to see more of me, I did have a video about the video game hype cycle, which I'll have on screen right now. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, I highly encourage you to watch that one or my Kingdom Hearts video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Anyway, all right, bye. See you around, bud.